In the summer of 2014, a young German tourist named Lars Mittank became the center of one of the most disturbing disappearance cases in modern history. What began as a simple vacation in Bulgaria transformed into a nightmare that defies every attempt at rational explanation. The final moments of Lars's known existence were captured on airport security cameras, showing a man consumed by terror, fleeing from invisible pursuers to a wilderness that seems to have swallowed him entirely. Before we proceed, make sure to subscribe for more chilling investigations. It was July 8, 2014, in the coastal resort town of Golden Sands, Bulgaria, where 28-year-old Lars Mittank had arrived with 4 friends for what should have been an ordinary summer vacation. The German construction worker from Berlin appeared to be enjoying himself until an incident at a local bar shattered the normalcy of their trip. According to witness statements, Lars became involved in an argument with several Bayern Munich football fans. The confrontation escalated, resulting in Lars suffering a ruptured eardrum that would prevent him from flying home with his companions. His friends departed as scheduled on July 7th, leaving Lars alone to recover before his rescheduled flight. Dr. Kostov, the physician who examined Lars at a Varna medical facility, noted unusual behavior patterns in his patient. Lars appeared agitated beyond what his minor injury would warrant, repeatedly glancing toward the windows and asking if the doctor had seen anyone watching the building. The medical report describes a patient exhibiting signs of acute paranoia, though no underlying psychological condition had been previously documented. Security footage from Lars's hotel shows him pacing the corridors during the early morning hours of July 8th. The timestamp indicates he spent nearly 3 hours walking the same route, pausing at windows that faced the parking area below. Hotel staff reported finding strange markings carved into the wooden railing of his balcony, symbols that resembled no known alphabet or linguistic system. The mystery deepened when Lars contacted his mother, Sandra Mittank, via telephone that morning. The conversation, lasting 14 minutes, contained references to pharmaceutical companies and unnamed individuals following him. Lars insisted that Dr. Kostov had prescribed medication that was somehow connected to his pursuers, though the prescription was for standard antibiotics to prevent ear infection. What makes this communication particularly disturbing is that Sandra Mittank recorded portions of the call, capturing her son's voice, describing people who weren't there before but are everywhere now. Background analysis of the recording revealed sounds that acoustic experts could not identify, low-frequency vibrations that seemed to pulse in rhythm with Lars's increasingly frantic speech. Airport surveillance cameras at Varna Airport captured the final, confirmed sighting of Lars Mittank. The footage shows him arriving for his Germanwings flight, moving through check-in procedures with apparent normalcy. However, enhancement of the video reveals subtle details that investigators found deeply unsettling. Frame-by-frame analysis shows Lars repeatedly touching his injured ear while scanning the terminal. His movements suggest he was tracking something or someone moving through the crowd, though no corresponding figure appears in any camera angle. The enhanced audio captures him speaking to himself, though lip-reading experts disagree about what words he was forming. The most chilling sequence begins at approximately 2 in the afternoon, when Lars suddenly abandoned his luggage and began running toward the airport exit. The security footage shows a man in absolute terror, his face contorted with fear as he fled from the terminal building. He ran directly into a nearby forest, disappearing among the trees. What the cameras captured next defies rational explanation. Several minutes after Lars vanished into the woodland, the footage shows other figures emerging from various locations within the terminal. These individuals, approximately 6 in number, moved with coordinated precision toward the same forest entrance Lars had used. The strangest aspect of this surveillance evidence is that none of these figures appear in any earlier footage from that day. Security personnel reviewed hundreds of hours of recordings, yet could find no trace of when or how these individuals entered the airport facility. They simply materialized in the final moments of the incident. Bulgarian authorities launched an extensive search operation covering nearly 50 square kilometers of dense forest and mountainous terrain. Search teams employed thermal imaging equipment, tracking dogs, and helicopter surveillance, yet found no trace of Lars Mittank. The investigation revealed several anomalies that complicated their efforts. Multiple search dogs lost Lars's scent at precisely the same location, approximately 200 meters into the forest. The animals became agitated and refused to continue beyond this point, displaying behavior their handlers had never encountered. Thermal imaging equipment malfunctioned repeatedly in the same area, producing readings that suggested large heat signatures where no living creatures were visible. Local residents provided information that further deepened the mystery surrounding Lars's disappearance. Several villagers from nearby settlements reported seeing unusual lights moving through the forest canopy during the nights following the incident. These lights moved in geometric patterns that defied explanation, forming complex shapes before vanishing entirely. An elderly Bulgarian woman named Vera Dimitrova approached investigators with a disturbing account. She claimed to have encountered a young foreign man matching Lars's description 3 days before his disappearance. According to her statement, this individual was asking about the old paths and seemed desperate to find routes through the forest that avoided main roads. Most unsettling was Dimitrova's description of the man's condition. She stated he appeared to be suffering from severe sleep deprivation and kept mentioning that they had been following him since he arrived in Bulgaria. He asked specifically about abandoned Soviet-era installations in the surrounding mountains, locations that were not marked on any tourist maps. Investigation into these installations revealed a complex network of underground facilities constructed during the Cold War period. Many of these sites remained classified, with access restricted by both Bulgarian and international authorities. The proximity of these locations to Lars's last known position raised questions that officials were reluctant to address. Dr. Kostov, the physician who treated Lars, provided additional testimony that cast his patient's mental state in an even more disturbing light. The doctor revealed that Lars had asked specific questions about pharmaceutical companies operating in Eastern Europe, demonstrating knowledge of corporate structures that seemed far beyond what a construction worker would typically possess. The prescription Dr. Kostov provided was for a standard antibiotic manufactured by a German pharmaceutical company. However, when investigators attempted to verify the medication's batch numbers, they discovered that the specific formulation Lars received was not part of any official production run. The pills existed, but according to corporate records, they should not have existed. Forensic analysis of Lars's abandoned luggage revealed traces of compounds that were not consistent with normal travel activities. Chemical residue found on his clothing suggested exposure to industrial substances not commonly encountered in tourist areas. These findings indicated that Lars had been in contact with materials or locations that were not part of his documented itinerary. The investigation took an even more bizarre turn when authorities discovered that several other tourists had reported similar experiences in the Golden Sands area during the same time period. 3 separate individuals, all from different European countries, had contacted local police about being followed by unknown persons. Each case involved tourists who claimed to have been prescribed medication by local doctors, medication that allegedly made them targets for surveillance. None of these other cases resulted in disappearances, but the pattern suggested a systematic operation targeting foreign visitors. Bulgarian authorities classified these related incidents, refusing to provide details about the nature of the supposed surveillance or the identity of those responsible. The most disturbing evidence emerged from digital analysis of Lars's final phone call to his mother. Advanced audio processing revealed that the unidentified background sounds formed a pattern that repeated every 43 seconds. When this pattern was converted to visual representation, it resembled architectural blueprints of underground facility layouts. These blueprints matched no known structures in the Bulgarian archives, yet they corresponded precisely with the locations of the classified installations near Lars's disappearance site. The implications suggested that Lars had somehow gained access to information about facilities that officially did not exist, or that the sounds themselves were being transmitted from within these locations. 8 years after Lars Mittank vanished into the Bulgarian wilderness, no trace of him has ever been found. The investigation remains officially open, though Bulgarian authorities have provided no updates since 2016. The classified files related to his case have been sealed for an undetermined period, with access restricted to personnel with specialized clearance levels. The forest where Lars disappeared has been declared off-limits to civilian access, officially due to environmental protection concerns. However, local reports continue to describe unusual phenomena in the area, including electronic equipment failures and unexplained sounds emanating from underground sources during the darkest hours of night. What do you think really happened to Lars Mittank during those final terrifying moments captured on airport security cameras? Share your theories about what could have driven him to flee in such absolute terror. Subscribe to explore more cases where reality itself seems to unravel before our eyes.